watching another episode of Heart of the Dragon. If you like our show, we would love it if you would hit the like button below, and you can also hit the bell below for notifications. We would also love to have more subscribers if you would like to subscribe to our channel. So we started making videos about 4 months ago because my daughter Annika and I wanted to just share some aspects of our daily life that we just wanted to share with people so that they could maybe be inspired or have hope for people who are suffering or dealing with different issues. So the title of this vlog is based on a quote by C.S. Lewis in the book Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And this quote says, "Extraordinary things only happen to extraordinary people." Now, to be extraordinary sometimes is dealing with a lot of difficult things. For our family, it is a family that deals with a lot of hardships involving chronic illness and other invisible disabilities. And so Annika and I just wanted to inspire people and just encourage people to just keep persevering when they're suffering. We just started doing these videos to just talk about what life is like with our family, but also just share a lot of triumphs. Now, my mission in life is a pursuit of joy. So you hear me talk a lot about things that give me joy or victories and things like that. And I just wanted to, I guess, try to look at the positive aspects of life and just encourage people who are struggling that life doesn't end because you're disabled or you have autism or if you're chronically ill. Sometimes it feels like it. I know I've been there, but we can still live a fulfilled life. Can be hard when we're in really difficult struggles, but it is possible. Now, some people I know are going through a lot of hardships and it's really hard. And they may say, "Oh my gosh, how can you say that?" And I know how hard that is. And I want to also say that we give permission to people to say, "Hey, I'm not okay." And it's okay to not be okay. We give permission for people to grieve and to hurt. And it's okay to grieve and hurt. Now, for myself, I guess early on, this has been about a 10 to 14-year-old battle. The last 10 years have been the hardest, but it technically started about 13, 14 years ago when I was exposed to mold in my workplace. And there's just been times where I just got so focused on what was wrong with my life and how awful my life was and how much hurting I was in, especially when I was bedridden, that that's all I wanted to think about. And I kind of figured out that at that time, especially 10 years ago, I had no support system whatsoever. I didn't know what the heck was wrong with me. There was really no one I could talk to because I didn't have a support network. I didn't know what chronic Lyme disease was. I didn't know why the heck I was feeling dizzy all the time, and my body was twitching and my brain felt weird at that time, why I was weak, why I was hurting. You know, I thought maybe I was crazy. And I think that some of the people in my life probably thought the same thing. And I figured out pretty quick that one, people just didn't understand, most people. And two, I figured out pretty quick that people really just don't want to hear about your problems. As hard as that is, they just don't. You know, it's depressing. And that was a hard thing to swallow. But I figured out there are people that do care, and people like my mom and my husband and my family. Yeah, I don't want to sit there and talk about how much I'm hurting and how dizzy I am all the time to them, but they get it more than anyone else. And the people that care in my life, they love me and care about me, you know, they'll hear me out. But at the same time, I just, you know, at some point I needed this wasn't something that was going to go away. And I just realized I had to figure out how to make my life work. And in order to do that, I had to figure out what things are good in my life and how can I thrive even when I'm hurting. And so that's where the whole idea of Joyful Mama and the mission of joy came about. So one thing I think when you deal with like a chronic illness or a disability, one thing that you begin to realize is that life the way you remember it prior to that will never be the same. And you kind of have to accept that life won't ever be the way it was before. Even if you do get past this, and you very well may, you're changed forever from this experience and from dealing with a disability or chronic illness. It changes you forever. I mean, you just will not be the same. And a lot of times we call that the new normal. And so the new normal for people looks differently. you have to accept the fact that what expectations you had before or what you thought you can do is not realistic anymore. Whether it's for you or a child or a spouse, it's not realistic. So you have to somehow let go of those expectations. So normal in our family looks a lot different than other people, and it will for each family. Face it, everyone has struggles that they face. Everyone has hardships, and it may not, when you get on social media and stuff, it's so deceptive because we're all trying to look our best and talk about how great life is. Yay, but seriously, everyone has their struggles. It just comes in different shapes and sizes and forms. And it just happens in my family. The biggest struggle has to do with health issues and neurological issues, pain, and just the, financial burden of paying for, the healthcare needs we have. So I guess at some point in our family, we did have to let go of a lot of our expectations and say, hey, welcome to our new normal. This is our normal life now. So what does normal look for me? What is a new normal? Well, let's start with my daughter, Annika. She's in college. Normal for her is that she, to get to class and make it through class all day. How does she deal with class when she's hurting? What happens when she's exhausted? What happens like if the basement at her apartment gets flooded and she gets exposed to mold again? How does she deal with that? Those are things that are normal for her. So for her, her expectation is, I'm going to get to class. Now her class is an 8-hour day and it's really intense and she has to be there at 7:30. Pretty hard when you deal with chronic fatigue and pain, but she does whatever she can to get there. And then when there's a day that's not, she's got to do whatever she can to figure out how she's going to make it, because that's life. And as a parent, it's supporting her, realizing she's an adult, praying for her, letting her go to the Lord, because I just can't, I can't be in control of it. There's nothing I can do about it except for just show her the support that she needs, help her get to her homeopath and her functional medicine doctor, and help her with whatever medicine or treatment she needs to do the best she can. Now, besides my daughter Annika, my husband Mel and I have 2 sons. We have a 9-year-old son that's almost 10, and we have a 14-year-old son. Now, I don't use our sons' names or put them in the videos too much because they're minors, and just for protection for them, since it's a public venue, I don't tend to use their names or identities in our videos. But my 14-year-old son, he has struggled a lot also with pain and just a lot of stuff going on with him. And so last year, the normal was getting him to school for an hour or 2 because he was in so much pain and fatigue. And this year, what I would call letting go expectations and normal is, one, when he goes to school, just accepting the fact that there's only certain clothes that he can wear because of comfort. So for instance, he absolutely won't wear any jeans. And we used to, my husband liked to have our kids look nice, for church or school. And we used to say, oh, you should wear jeans or a nice pair of pants. Well, if we can get him to school or church, we're happy. And so we try to just more go for comfort. So that's one thing. Another is that my son is pretty much can be a straight A student. In fact, he finished last year with a 3.85 GPA, even though he missed 3 months of school, and we had to do most of his homework from home and work with the teachers online and stuff. He's still got a pretty good GPA, so he's really smart. But we have to just let go of the expectations that he's going to always be the best student or complete a project on time, because he's dealing with a lot. And we just have to be okay with that. And we are. So we just support him. Our goal with him is to make sure he's at full-time at school every day, because I told him, you either have to be full-time at school or else I'm homeschooling you. And he said, Mom, I really don't want you to homeschool me. So he has to figure out a way to be able to be at school. And school takes a lot of his energy. And so now this year he's playing basketball too. So my 14-year-old middleman is going to have, when he started basketball, he was pretty exhausted that first week and a lot of pain. It was a 3-day weekend, and his teachers were emailing me and saying, hey, he needs to get his assignments finished. But he was so tired from his first week of basketball and in quite a bit of pain. He was having some problems with insomnia. And so I had to talk to the teachers and say, hey, he was in bed all weekend recovering. So in order to do the things that he likes to do, we have to kind of, with him, moderate his energy and time, because there's things that he likes to do. We want to get him out of the house because we don't want him just holed up in here watching TV all the time, because, you know, it's just not good for him. So we encourage him to get out and pursue activities, but we also know that everything has to be in moderation. And if he does one thing, then we have to give him more time for rest. And that's just his life, and that's normal for us. And we have to be okay with that. Now, for my youngest, he doesn't have really any, major health issues or anything, and for him, normal is watching his family suffer and, dealing with those things. So like last year, he went through some grief over it, and it kind of showed up in school, how he was handling his emotions at school, because he's dealing with a lot. And he's the youngest child, and suddenly I'm putting all my time and energy caring for someone who's really sick and suffering and a lot of pain. And so he was kind of used to being the center of my world, and all of a sudden he's not. And so that was a hard thing. So for him, normal is coming up with ways for my husband Mel and I to spend time with him and help him see that he's valued and loved. And we had to let go of some expectations with him. If his big brother doesn't have to wear jeans to school, then why should he have to wear jeans to school? Now, for me, what is normal? That's really hard to say, because it's been so long since I felt normal, I guess. For me, normal is just celebrating every triumph. So I have chronic vertigo, for instance. I talk about that a lot. And my vertigo is better now, but I still have a balance disorder and mobility problems. But just feeling calm and energetic, and I don't know, just having a good day where maybe I only had vertigo when I first woke up in the morning, or I'm not dizzy today, having clear thinking, feeling rested. That's a big thing for me, is just having a day where I feel rested, because kind of what happened with me is once I started getting my energy back after, my last battle with Lyme disease, I all of a sudden was putting all my energy into my kids and my husband and my family. And I was caring for a son that was sick. And so for me, if I get 6 hours of sleep at night, I'm really happy. This summer I was going through a period where I just kind of quit sleeping, because I just kind of felt like I had to do everything. And it really took its toll on me. I ended up with a co-infection, and then I ended up getting influenza, and I was out for like 2 weeks. And if I tried to stay up and get stuff done, well, guess what? I'd fall asleep in the chair. And so I figured out, hey, it's not worth it. And so for me, my goal is to get 6 hours of sleep at night, at least 5 to 6 hours of sleep at night. And just every day I tell myself, this is my to-do list. What are the priorities? What do I need to do? And just tackle what I can. And I do have to fight through the pain. I do have to fight through the emotions. And I just have to just keep going. And one of the things I realized, in order to do that, I can't compromise not having some time reading my Bible and talking to God, because God is the one thing that sustains me, get me through the things that I have to do to keep this household going, keep our family together, dealing with my own disability on top of that. And so that's what normal looks like. So these are just some of the things I wanted to talk to you about today, so that I can just tell you where we're at with this vlog series, and where family's at. So that's all I have to say today, and I just thank you for your time to listen and hear me out. And for those of you who are dealing with chronic conditions, I just want you to know that I'm praying for you, that when I get on social media, I try to reach out to many of you and encourage you, or let you know that I care. I got a couple of Facebook groups. You're welcome to join with me if you want. And I applaud you for your grit and your toughness. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to just feel like crap and say, hey, my life stinks right now. I'm hurting. And that's where I'm at. That's your normal, and I get it. But I do want you to know that I do care about you, and that you are my thoughts and prayers. So thanks so much, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you very much for joining us today. If you liked what you saw today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up And then please be sure to hit the subscribe button below. And then be sure to hit the notification bell so that you can receive notifications on all of our future videos. We are on social media, and you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the username Joyful Mama. Otherwise, we will also link that in the description below. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Bye, guys.